സർവീസസ് എഡ്യൂക്കേഷൻ പ്രോഗ്രാമിലേക്ക് ഏവർക്കും സ്വാഗതം. സിവിൽ സർവീസസ് അഥവാ IAS എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് നമ്മുടെ എല്ലാവരുടെയും വലിയൊരു സ്വപ്നമാണ് അല്ലേ? പക്ഷെ പലർക്കും ആ ഒരു സ്വപ്നം വരെ എത്തിച്ചേരാൻ പറ്റാറില്ല. ഈ പരിപാടി സിവിൽ സർവീസസ് അറ്റംപ്റ്റ് ചെയ്ത് ആ മെയിൻ ഇന്റർവ്യൂസ് കാത്തിരിക്കുന്നവർക്ക് ഒരു പരിശീലനം എന്ന രീതിയിലാണ് ഡിസൈൻ ചെയ്തിരിക്കുന്നത്. മാത്രമല്ല സിവിൽ സർവീസ് ഒരു വലിയ ആസ്പിറേഷനായി കരുതുന്ന നിങ്ങളിൽ പലരും ഉണ്ടാവും. നിങ്ങൾക്കും ഒരു വലിയ മോട്ടിവേഷനും പ്രചോദനവും ഒക്കെ ആവട്ടെ ഇവരുടെ വാക്കുകളും ഈ ഇന്റർവ്യൂ പാനലിന്റെ സജഷൻസും ഫീഡ്ബാക്കും ഒക്കെ പ്രതീക്ഷിച്ചുകൊണ്ട് ഇതാ അമൃത സിവിൽ സർവീസസ് എഡ്യൂക്കേഷൻ പ്രോഗ്രാം ഇവിടെ ആരംഭിക്കുന്നു. ഇന്നത്തെ ഇന്റർവ്യൂ പാനൽ ആരൊക്കെയാണെന്ന് നമുക്ക് നോക്കാം. ഇന്റർവ്യൂ പാനൽ ചെയർ ചെയ്യുന്നത് ഡോക്ടർ വിശ്വാസ് മെഹ്ത IAS, പ്രിൻസിപ്പൽ സെക്രട്ടറി റവന്യൂ, ജോൺ സാമുവൽ അഡ്വൈസർ UNDP, രശ്മി റോജ തുഷാര നായർ, ഡയറക്ടർ ന്യൂസ് ദൂരദർശൻ, N. Prashant IAS, District Collector Calicut, Dr. K. Ambadi IIS, Managing Director Kerala State Coastal Area Development Corporation Limited. Hi Ijaz.
Hello.
Ijaz from Varkala, alle?
I'm from Chavadam Kosigan actually. Varkala is my native place.
Okay, sure. So Ijaz, so you are at that final lap, alle? Two stages കഴിഞ്ഞു. എല്ലാവരുടെയും ഒരു സ്വപ്നമാണ് IAS എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. Of course there are other branches also, IIS, IFS ഒക്കെ ഉണ്ട്. പക്ഷേ സിവിൽ സർവീസ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് എല്ലാവരുടെയും ഒരു സ്വപ്നമാണ്. So അതിന്റെ ആദ്യ രണ്ട് ഘടകങ്ങൾ തീർത്തപ്പോൾ you are at the threshold of fulfilling or realizing your dream. How do you feel at this moment?
I feel a little bit nervous, but I'm also happy because I made it to this far, and I hope I can make it to the next level also.
Absolutely, we too hope the same. So tell us about yourself. Who are you basically? What are your hobbies? What are your likes? Who are you? I mean, like, വീട്ടിൽ ആരൊക്കെയുണ്ട്?
At home I have a father, mother and a younger sister. And my hobbies are usually I like to watch documentaries and read about foreign affairs and stuff like that. I also do a little bit of dairy farming at home at my native place.
So എങ്ങനെയായിരുന്നു the preparation mood? Once you made up your mind that this is what you want, when did you start deciding, okay, ഇനി എങ്ങനെ ചെയ്യണം, ഏതൊക്കെ മോഡിൽ പ്രിപ്പറേഷൻ തുടങ്ങണം, എന്തൊക്കെയായിരുന്നു? What were those methods of learning?
ആദ്യത്തെ സ്റ്റേജ് എന്തായാലും പ്രിലിമിനറിക്ക് വേണ്ടി പഠിക്കാനായിരുന്നു. പ്രിലിമിനറിക്ക് ആക്ച്വലി ഫാക്ച്വൽ ഇൻഫർമേഷൻ ആണ് കൂടുതലും. അനലിറ്റിക്കൽ എബിലിറ്റി അത്രയ്ക്ക് ആവശ്യമില്ല. അതുകൊണ്ട് ഒരു ബേസ് ഡെവലപ്പ് ചെയ്യണമെങ്കിൽ പ്രിലിംസിന് പഠിക്കുമ്പോഴും മെയിൻസിന് വേണ്ടി പ്രിപ്പയർ ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ട് തന്നെയാണ് പഠിച്ചത്. മെയിൻസ് മനസ്സിൽ വെച്ചുകൊണ്ടാണ് പഠിച്ചത്.
This is going to be an enriching experience for you. വളരെ എമിനന്റ് ആൾക്കാരുള്ള പാനലാണ്. സോ അവരിൽ നിന്ന് മാക്സിമം ലേണിംഗ് ടേക്ക് അവേ ചെയ്യുക. ഓക്കെ, ലേൺ മാക്സിമം what you can get out of it and all the very best to you. Make us proud. Yeah, there you go.
Come in, sir.
Just your entire thing, education has been in science, no?
Yes, sir.
And your degree is also in the electrical and electronics engineering. But it seems that civil service exam you wrote geography as the
Yes, sir.
subject?
Yes, sir.
Why is it so? Why didn't prefer science?
So I have a predilection for traveling and I like traveling, and so I geography sort of gels in with that. You can say like personal disposition.
You could have taken that as subject in the graduation then?
No, sir. I tried to, but personal opposition from the family was extremely vigorous, you can say. So my mother was absolutely dead set against the idea that I should take anything other than.
So your mother decided which subject you should take, or
if I had a say in it, I would have picked geography or history.
you would have done that?
Yes.
So actually your say didn't work, is it?
No.
Okay. You are working in Shivpuri right now, or?
No, sir. I resigned from the service because I had to write the 2013 prelims. Yes.
How was Shivpuri for you? It
was a mixed bag. I mean, I had a very good quarters and food, but when you walk around in the streets, there's abject poverty around. So
Shivpuri is famous for something.
It's the summer palace of the Madhura of India, the Sindhyas, and Tantya Tope was also hanged there.
Okay. And we have some gangster there. What is his name?
I don't know.
Huh?
I don't know.
You have not heard of that?
No, sir.
There is somebody. What was his name? Was it Shivpuri? Yeah. Where he had got lot of arms and he ran the almost parallel position. No?
I don't know, sir.
You don't know about that. Okay. So how was the experience with intelligence bureau? Was good?
It was very good. I think I would have pursued the job if it wasn't for my heart wasn't set on the civil services.
So after working in Shivpuri, you find Kerala much better?
Yes, definitely. It's the
In,
best
in
state
terms of
in
what? In terms of
It's a human development, I'd say, and there is no abject poverty in the streets like in the Shivpuri.
why is it then people of Kerala don't work in Kerala? They keep going to other states or to the Gulf.
That is a historical and political. You have to see the political history of Kerala.
What is that?
There is a strong left movement here and trade union movements and so on. So that retarded industrial activity in the early 80s and 90s. So people went outside for jobs. Now the situation has changed, but we have some sort of a carryover lag, and we are still not able to throw that tag of being anti-industry. So I think, but it will get better. I think
It will get better.
yes.
You would prefer a job in Kerala than to go out, right?
I prefer a job in outside rather than in Kerala.
Not in Kerala.
No, I prefer any job, but I like
Because
to.
civil services, you can be posted in Nagaland. You can
Yes,
be
sir.
posted.
I love that.
You don't mind that?
No, sir.
In Madhya Pradesh, there is a big issue of land rights. Are you aware about it?
Not closely, sir, but regarding the Narmada dam.
No, land.
No, sir.
Land rights. What's the connections between Adivasis? What's the sort of percentage of tribal population in Madhya Pradesh?
I don't know, sir.
Jharkhand.
It's generally high, but I don't know
And
the
what is
percentage.
your perception about the? There is a connection between the tribal belt,
Sir.
poverty, and Maoism. What is your take on Maoism, and how do you address that?
Generally, underdeveloped places have a tendency to have a political vacuum, and the Maoists usually exploit this to come to power. You can see that there are many places in India where there's no development, but still they have no extremism or separatist movements. But in the left-wing extremist states, the Maoists, initially a faction of the CPI, they broke off and they practically destroyed every local level political body, and they established themselves in that political vacuum. So that's how the Maoism came to be.
You said you made a statement about that in the 80s there were trade unionism, hence no industries came. But actually, from 87 onwards, economic growth of Kerala has increased tremendously.
Yes.
And how do you explain that? On the one hand, Kerala has, 87 onwards, Kerala's economy has, has grown, and then it got double digit.
Yes, sir.
So, and the kind of industries which you say in Kerala in 70s, what were there?
So manufacturing is generally deficient.
What is the manufacturing industries in Kerala?
Usually that is value addition to cashew nut, then mainly agro-based and fisheries processing, coir. That's about it in manufacturing. I mean, we do
Is
not
it
have.
because of the trade union coir industry?
No. We made a mistake in the. We have a disadvantage that we do not have enough land to start industries, because most of it is ecologically sensitive and areas, and second, we are also highly densely populated, so land is a definite issue here. But for manufacturing that does not require land, we have an advantage because we have a skilled population, an educated population. So if the government chooses to move in that direction, I think, because now there is no trade
You contradicted yourself. Your first statement was saying that it is because of the trade unionism.
That was in the 80s and 90s.
And it is because of the left. People have moved out because the migration started.
No, I did not say it was because of the left, sir. I don't think.
Trade unionism.
You did tell.
Not because of the left. I may have made a mistake in phrasing it. People did not move out because of the left, because there were less opportunities here, and financially the oil countries are very remunerative for even menial work there. So that was why they moved out. So I apologize for that.
What is the remittance level last?
About 50,000 crore, I think.
Huh?
50,000 crore, I think, to Kerala.
Sure.
Yes, sir. I believe I read. I believe that is correct.
That was 4 years ago.
50,000 crores.
Ajas,
Yes, sir.
you mentioned dairy farming as your interest.
Yes, ma'am.
How is it your interest? What do you do there?
At my native place, I have a small sort of dairy farm. It's goats, not cows. And the reason is, when I was younger, we used to have cows and goats. And I come from a farming family. And my parents both got jobs in Trivandrum, and we moved away. But still, we have our relatives there, and the business goes on. So go every weekend I go there and take care of it. I have about 27 goats I think right now.
What you do with that?
I usually sell them. I do not grow all of them and keep them because it's very uneconomical to keep them for their full lifetime. I mean, milk is very little from a goat. So I usually buy it around 1 month old kids, usually billy kids, and then sell them about 5 or 6 months old.
So then is your hobby dairy farming or animal husbandry?
It is dairy farming. Mainly my interest was milk, and goat milk is what we consume personally. But because it was not uneconomical, so we started selling.
What's the difference between dairying and animal husbandry?
Dairying is revolving around milk and spice products, cheese, that sort of stuff. Animal husbandry is raising animal to sell or for slaughter.
So what are you doing?
A bit of both, but mainly dairy farming.
You say you like reading fiction. What kind of works do you like?
Usually English fiction, ma'am. I read military history also as non-fiction.
Military history.
Yes, particularly about the
I'm
Second
asking
World War.
about your interest in fiction.
Usually I read fantasy genre, anything I can get. I mean, I do not pigeonhole myself. I do not
Do you
have
have any favorite authors or
No.
books? No.
Yeah, favorite author I'd say Michael Crichton, and I do like Julian Rathbone. I recently read, so I like him. Kings of Albion.
Okay, so you said fantasy category and you're saying these books?
No, I do not have a predilection for anything in special. I read a lot of fantasy, but I'm open to anything, any genre in general.
Say for instance, you are the administrator for police. You must have heard about the Gajendra Singh incident, right?
Yes.
So tell me, what would your reaction be in such a situation?
There is an accusation that the police were bystanders in that case, in Gajendra Singh case, and they did not do nothing. They did nothing. I think my response would be if he was still trying to suicide, to try to bring him down, and afterwards also I think the police was a little bit laggard, and the party cadres took him to the hospital. Partly, there needs to be some sort of synchronization between the police and the emergency services also.
No, but what would you do?
I would make sure that he gets emergency assistance if he had managed to hang himself. And second is to launch an investigation as to why he did so. And
That is after the incident.
yes, you mean prevention? Yes. There is really nothing you can do if somebody decides to hang himself from the turban suddenly, but you can try and persuade him to come down and promise him a little bit of help. Administratively also we can help him. That is, the IAS can help him.
So can you comment about foreign policy, especially on the brief lull in the Indo-Pak talks?
The Indo-Pak talks, one, we have to take into account the domestic political situation, which is that the army is Pakistani army is again exerting itself in foreign affairs, and it has a veto on everything that has to do with India. And there is very little that the civilian government can deliver in terms of concrete assurance to India. And second is that we have made overtures, and we have said that we want to liberate state, and we went out of our way to make sure that Pakistan is accommodated, but still they have refused because their army has said no to it. So I don't in the short term, I think there's nothing we can do except asking them for talks, to talk them down out of their position.
So should we continue with the talks or stop it?
We should continue, but we should make it clear that we are not here for the sake of talks or appearing to be talks. There should be concrete assurances, and they should be able to deliver something.
Okay, so they should approach us for talks.
We can approach them, but we should set a precondition that they should be able to deliver something meaningful, rather than just talking.
Does that work in diplomacy?
No, sir. It can, but if we should force ourselves. We should be forceful diplomatically in that sense.
What is your take on e-commerce? Because it's burgeoning at a very high rate.
I believe it's a very good thing. Customer gets lower prices, and India has the domestic e-commerce giants in Flipkart and Snapdeal.
What about the other side of it?
Other side is that foreign investment and foreign companies like Amazon, they will come.
Especially relating to taxes. Are you aware of that?
The local and they dispute with the states over taxes or GST.
See, I'm talking about taxes on e-commerce, e-retailing.
Yes, I'm not aware of that.
Suppose there is a direction from the government for you to do something.
Yes.
There's a specific direction, but you know that it will possibly result in violence, maybe suicide, loss of life, what will you do? Will you resist?
If there is an imminent threat of violence, then if violence directed towards public property or other persons, then I would have to call in the police. But I would have to persist with the policy because it is a government order. And insubordination is not something that is good for a civil servant.
Okay, suppose there is a direction, you are the district collector and there is a direction from the government, a written direction that you should do something. But you are aware that that is an illegal direction. There is already a High Court judgment which says that such and such thing cannot be done. Now there is a government direction asking you to do such and such thing in a limited time.
Yes.
What will you do? Will you refuse to do that? Will you go to court?
If the High Court has said that it is illegal, then it is within my right to refuse to do it.
So you will refuse to
Yes, I would
implement?
reply to my superiors that it is not a correct course of action and I cannot take this illegal action. So that
But it is your interpretation.
Yes.
But it would be your interpretation that it's illegal.
no, if I have a concrete High Court ruling that such an activity is illegal, then I can say to my superiors that this cannot be performed because it is illegal.
But if they insist, they say that we know things better than you, we will approach
I
the
would
High
have to
Court and get
insist
it
with
corrected. Will you take it or will you still refuse to
I'll
implement
still
it?
refuse.
You will still refuse it. What have you heard about the Shabano case? What's your take on it?
Shabano case was a case in 1985, I think, about around that time, to give marital allowance after divorce to a Muslim lady from her husband. And
Marital allowance.
the Supreme Court had ruled that after divorce, so Muslim lady is also entitled to child support and allowances from her husband. But then an amendment was put in, and I don't remember which one.
So right now Muslim women don't get that, is it?
The Waqf board determines what they get, I think, right now. I'm not aware of the legal.
But what is
side
the
of it.
Shabano case? I
It was
asked
a
you
landmark case. I mean, the case revolved around the principle of uniform civil code, and
But was that the case?
it was related to that. It was very. It was related
Under
to the,
what section was the maintenance awarded?
I don't know.
What is net neutrality?
Net neutrality means that every stakeholder in the internet, who is big and small, can participate or send and receive transmission over the internet without any discrimination. For example, if I pay my ISP extra, I should not get any extra benefits. There should be an even playing field, and everybody should be given the same bandwidth. And there should be no zero rating in other schemes that have been brought in to sort of alter the state of neutrality.
Who is trying to alter it?
Facebook has a program called internet.org, and I believe Airtel also has. Several other companies have such. AT&T also, and Vodafone also is thinking about bringing on.
Who is the service provider in this case?
I do not know. Sir. Internet.org, I do not know who's service.
But they are not a service provider.
No, they are not service provider. They have a deal with the service provider. Facebook has a deal.
Which?
I don't know. Sir.
Do you have multiple options, isn't this?
It differs from country to country, I think. Service provider.
No, which is a famous case in India?
Airtel, I don't know. I do not know, sir, which is the case.
Just your hobby is light travel. What is this light travel?
Traveling, I like traveling, and I usually pack a small backpack, and I do it with my friends on my bike. I used to do it at least until college, the end of college. And I like not encumbered by huge luggage. My idea of travel is to go somewhere, spend 6 or 7 months there. That is what ideally I want, because there will be a lot of time to spend there, see the places.
Normally at what speed light travel?
I do not understand.
Normally at what speed light travels?
What speed light travels? It is 3 to 10 raised to 8 meter per second.
Of course, you had a light travel to Kathmandu. Suppose you had a light travel.
Yes.
3 of your friends.
Yes, sir.
4 of us, you were going to a place.
Yes.
You were staying in a hotel.
Yes, sir.
You went for a trekking.
Yes.
You had a camp.
Yes, sir.
And suddenly this earthquake happened.
Yes, sir.
And it was all devastating.
Yes, sir.
And when you regain your consciousness, you are profusely bleeding.
Yes.
You may sustain yourself for maybe 15 minutes. You are not able to locate 3 of your friends.
Yes.
Somewhere deep down, probably in the debris somewhere, you can hear some of their voices. But if you want to sustain yourself, if you want to live, you have to immediately come down somehow to a nearby road, a nearby place, and get some help and go to a hospital, what would you do at that time?
If I had any communication device like satellite phone or something like that,
Nothing is there.
nothing, sir.
It is devastated, totally devastated.
Light traveler with the satellite phone.
No, that is a very light thing. It is usually this people. But in my injured condition, I may not be able to travel a lot of distance. So I think I try to reach a vantage point to see if there's a habitation around.
So you will leave them and you will leave.
If I am bleeding profusely, then my physical prowess is extremely debilitated, and so I don't not think I would be able to lift. If there is something trapping them down, I would be able to lift it. So it would be better to get help from a habitation or usually at mountaineering places.
You try to save yourself first.
No, I would try to get help first. Myself, okay, that can be a. I would naturally try to save myself, but the priority is that I would not be able to sustain myself and physically help these people if I am profusely bleeding and injured. So I have to seek help.
Suppose those people who are trapped,
Yes, sir.
they were your parents.
Yes, sir.
Will you take the same decision?
Yes, because it is a rational decision to make. I may not be able to rescue them all personally because of my physical injuries, so I have to seek help if they are to survive.
Okay, then leave the hypothetical situation. In real Nepal, India had done a response.
Yes, sir.
India has intervened. How do you think that it has helped India diplomatically?
I believe it creates a positive image. Before the earthquake, I mean, there was a general cultivated air of distrust with India and saying that India was meddling in the internal affairs of Nepal. There were some parties who were saying that, but this gives us a favorable impression among the Nepalese people, and their gratitude will be there, of course. And with the government also, I think we will have a better atmosphere to further our relations.
What do you think about the role of India as an international donor?
Aid donors.
Aid.
So recently, I think 2 years back, we constituted the development as a development agency. I think I do not remember the name, but we are now giving development through that, and then there is the technical support we give. I think in the last 10 years, we have grown to be a large donor of aid, and majority of it is towards our neighborhood.
How much was the international aid India
I don't
gave
know,
last year?
but we gave, I think, largest aid we gave is to Afghanistan. That I know, but